Dear colleagues, thank you very much. It's my honor and pleasure being here with you today in this international conference. As an ex-alumni of the National School of Public Administration of Greece, it's a real pleasure, and I'm deeply honored to participate to this topic. And it's a very good coincidence that my presentation comes after the UNESCO presentation, because somehow it is complementary to what was said before from the representative of UNESCO. The idea I want to present to you, it's the idea of a smart polis instead of smart city. The idea of smart polis as a symbiotic paradigm, and the cosmopolitan morality as an element for a democratic and global governance. Allow me to say that the smart cities become more and more global cities, entailing the new global realities, both virtual and the real world. A new morality arises as a result of an amalgamated culture. Cosmopolitan ethics has been an element of philosophical thought since the school of skeptics, the ancient Greece, in late antiquity, but also from Socrates, who said, "I am neither an Athenian nor a Greek, but a citizen of the world." But in the 21st century, how can this thought be integrated into the context of a morality that will characterize people's behavior and can form the foundation of democratic global governance based on international institutions of mutual understanding and common legislation procedure? Global problems and their treatment require a common view from individual societies and nations, but in the context of a concept of democracy that will be based on the concept of equality, solidarity, and brotherhood as elements of this new morality, and at the same time will be qualities of a citizen of the world, having as a main criterion the sustainability of our planet. The smart cities is the only space where this cosmopolitan morality can be developed and be an essential element of a democratic society. For the skeptics, the new polis was the cosmos, the planet, a political community of a more universalistic nature than the traditional closed polis, notes Professor Gerard Delanty. The Stoics didn't reject the polis in the sake of research of virtue and truth outside, as was the case before, but they asked the reinvention of the polis state, as you know, with an enlarged understanding of this new cosmopolitan morality and asking for a new kind of civic engagement, as we do today. In this morality, the role of the emotions such as love and sympathy were important for producing new forms of social life and cosmopolitan ethics. In the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century, the increase of the population as well as the flows of migration and refugees around the globe, and mainly to the big industrial cities of the developed capitalism, led to a shift in the meaning of the cosmopolitanism. The urbanization and the complexities created by the new anthropogenic environment in the big urban centers of the world, which were in fact the old commercial centers of the industrial capitalism, posed new problems in the process of the social identification and the construction of new political orders inside these complex systems of the human life world. The megasystems created by the gigantic scale of the new forms of organization and production created the necessity of new political mechanisms of control and management different from the national state in a more complex technological environment, but in a more limited space. The megapolis, such as New York, London, Singapore, Shanghai, and other cities around the world, incarnated the new cosmopolitan ideal of the 20th century, associated with the postmodern realities of the late technological and financial capitalism, but they still lack the proper political form of their organization and institutionalization. They are cosmopolis existing in the national framework as it was created in the last two or 3 centuries before. The demand for a new political order is more than necessary. It is urgent. I don't want to go further to my classification, but I want to refer a little bit to the idea of the cosmopolis. The cosmopolis as this last entity created in the age of globalization, constituting the last expression of the cosmopolitan morality and requiring accordingly the proper institutional, transnational, and supranational political organization. Cosmopolis combines all the systemic features of the megapolis, plus the concentration not only of the economic power, but the ambition of being a world city. The cultural center able to exercise global ideological influence as the epicenter of the main events in the globalized age. Cosmopolis has the tendency of being an autonomous center able to produce by itself new political order, being a state within the state. Its political importance is advancing as far as the globalization process is extending and deepening in all the spheres of contemporary societal life. Cosmopolis is the absolute fulfillment of the cosmopolitan morality that I mentioned, and as such, it encapsulates all the previous forms of the spirit of cosmopolitanism. In other words, it is a megapolic city-state pretending to be expanded as a metropolitan empire. It is the realization of the imaginary representation of the globalization which transforms itself into a global order as the final ideal, teleologically determined. Let me go to some of the issues regarding the smart cities and this new cosmopolitan morality and the idea of the smart polis, very briefly. The cities of the future, smart cities, are all about harnessing tech to make life better for citizens, from traffic management to energy efficiency. But what's the human side of this? We propose the idea of smart polis as a new combination of the political and technological element. Smart polis is more than a spatial or urban category anymore. It becomes the new forum, the new agora as it was in the ancient democracy, where the new political and democratic society is developing in. Smart polis is the idea of demos in the age of the technocracy and digital transformation. Cosmopolitanism adds a whole new layer, embracing diversity, inclusivity, and global connectivity. Imagine cities where tech enhances cultural exchange and sustainability, making urban living more rad for everyone. Is this the future we are envisioning, or is there more to do it? Associating smart cities and cosmopolitanism with good governance and democracy requires a thoughtful approach leading to the idea. Here are some potential connections. The participatory governance, the transparency and accountability, the inclusive decision-making, the civic engagement, the digital divide, the protection of data privacy, the balancing tech with human touch. But how can we ensure that smart cities and cosmopolitanism align with good governance and democracy? Ensuring citizens' participation in decision-making without tech manipulation is a complex challenge. Here are some ideas. Hybrid participation models we have to invent to combine online and offline engagement using digital tools to supplement, not replace, human interaction. Independent citizen juries. Randomly selected citizens informed by experts can make recommendations on key issues, reducing the influence of tech-driven manipulation. Deliberative democracy, participatory budgeting, media literacy education. The key to all these problems is to prioritize human-centered design, transparency, and accountability. By doing so, we can create a more inclusive, participatory democracy that leverages technology to support rather than manipulate citizen engagement. Cosmopolitanism as a moral behavior could promote this idea of a democratic and transparent government in a smart city environment. Cosmopolitanism as a moral behavior can be a powerful catalyst for promoting democratic and transparent governance in a smart city environment. There are, of course, potential scenarios that can be dystopian. We have three main scenarios: the sustainable megacities, the dystopian megacities, or the network megacities. The network megacities are cities that form alliances and networks with other cities, regions, and countries to share knowledge, resources, and best practices, driving global urban development. The future of the megacities in the 21st century will depend on the ability of cities to adapt, innovate, and address the challenges and opportunities arising from urbanization, climate change, and technological advancements. The dystopian scenario is valid concern, and it is essential to acknowledge the challenges that megacity faces. The consideration of people, resources, and activities in megacities can exacerbate issues like inequality, pollution, and social unrest. However, it's not all doom and gloom, let me say. There are many initiatives, policies, and innovations being implemented to address these challenges and create more sustainable, equitable, and resilient megacities. One of these ideas is to implementing green infrastructure, investing in renewable energy, promoting sustainable transportation, developing inclusive and affordable housing policies to address social and economic inequalities. While there are no easy solutions, it is essential to recognize that the future of megacities is not predetermined. By acknowledging the challenges and working together, we can create a better future for all. By adopting these strategies, megacities can ensure a more sustainable and resilient future, where resources are managed effectively and efficiently, and citizens have access to the resources they need to thrive. As a conclusion, let me say three main things. The smart cities become more and more global cities, entailing the new global realities, both virtual and in the real world. By cultivating a cosmopolitan morality, smart cities can become hubs for democratic innovation, transparency, and human flourishing. The smart cities transformed by the form of the smart polis is the only space where this cosmopolitan morality can be developed and be an essential element of a democratic society. Thank you for your attention.